RTO. When we started, it was about 10%, and now it's between 30 and 35%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we'd like to see it higher, but there's, with everything else, we just need to make small changes. And I think with small changes, it can increase.
Yeah.
And I think one thing I want to brought up, which I did not, I learned a very valuable lesson, that sometimes return to owner includes, let's say the dogs were confiscated. And so that dog is classified as a return to owner by some shelters. Let's say somebody, decides to surrender their dog, but then they come back the next day and say, oh, wow, I really don't want to surrender my dog. And then that becomes a return to owner. Yeah. And that kind of skews the RTO statistics. So I think when we talk about return to owner, it really needs to be about found dogs going back home.
Yeah. I read that. I was reading your blog about that, and I found that pretty interesting because, I think certain things like that happen as well here. The thing that I wanted to ask you, and if anybody locally here is listening, it could be a little controversial for me to even ask this question, but why do you think that the shelters don't sometimes want, I don't know what the word is, like to work with us, want to work with us, or I don't know if that's the right thing, but the cooperation sometimes isn't there. Sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. And I don't understand that because it's not a competition. We both have the same goals in mind to get the pets home. And so that's one thing I just cannot understand.
Well, I can't understand it either. I think I was very lucky. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's, a lot of times when I introduce myself, I tell them, I used to work in the shelter field. I worked closely with animal control. I understand. And I think it's really hard for people to realize that, found dogs are getting them home is like the low-hanging fruit on a fruit tree. That's easy to do. Mm-hmm. And I also think there's been a real focus, and this is just my personal opinion, and I'm sure that there'll be some reactions. I feel the focus has been on adoptions, transfers to rescues, to increase that live release rate. So, so that drive, and that has been towards, let's get that live release rate in by adoptions and by transfers.
Right.
Instead of looking, God, we could get this lost dog home.
Right.
Why does this dog need another home?
Right. When it already has one. Yeah.
Right. And I think now people are starting to see that this is still it's a very viable way to increase your life. What am I trying to say? Our live release rate. I think it's a very positive way. And again, you're not stressing out the rescues by saying, we need a transfer. We need to get this dog out. We need to get this dog out. Let's kind of work at, let's get this dog back home. Let's get this dog back home. What can we do to get this dog back home? Instead of, let's try to find this dog another home. Now, that's just my personal opinion, Patty. I don't know. Why do you think? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know. It's a mystery to me, really. It really is a mystery to me. But, I found my background was not in rescue. And as we talked today, one of my Facebook memories came up that today is the day that made me start. It's the anniversary of what made me start doing this. My dogs were lost on this day. Yeah, my dogs were lost on this day in 2013, I think. Yeah, and so that's how I ended up starting this, because I had lost my dogs, and it's all my husband's fault. Oh no, it was 2012. It was 2012. June 11, 2012 was the day I lost my 2 dogs. And thankfully I got them back, but it made me realize, we needed some help doing this. And so that's when I started doing it. My background, I was a realtor back in New York, but I've always loved animals. I've always owned animals, and I always want to help people and help animals. So I started doing this. But to me, what I look at it is, every time a pet is reunited, the goodwill that it creates, that is something that spreads. The goodness spreads, the hope, and, the good stories like that spreads. And that is what, in my opinion, most animal shelters need, are more good things to be said about them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, that's how, one thing I look at it, like, why not want to be a part of that? Why not create more goodwill and more happiness with the families of lost pets? I don't know. I just kind of look at it like that. But the other, I don't know. I'm just totally at a loss. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think maybe it's a little bit, you got to change the mindset. And I think that's sometimes really hard. I know I'm kind of getting off, subject, but it's like, not all stray dogs are homeless. And, that I see the whole mindset changed on our page when there's a scruffy dog or a dog that's lost weight, and someone will make a comment, and bam, 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 there's a comment underneath it saying, you don't know how long this dog's been lost. Maybe this dog is old, and I just think it's a mindset that we've got to change. And I think, I see a difference in animal control, in Chicago animal control. Even when I talk to some of the staff, they like getting the dogs home.
Mm-hmm.
I see them go out of their way. I've talked to a lot of the animal control officers, that say, it's really great, to be able to hand that dog back to someone, so I don't have to, bring it all the way to the shelter.
Right.
So I think I think you just got to be, like you say, it's goodwill, it's positive press. On our page, I mean, people just go crazy about the reunions.
Yeah.
And, so I don't know. I just know that I kept meeting with them. I tried to keep open communication with them. And like I say, I always tell them, you don't have to like me, but just remember, I am trying to help, get these dogs back home,
Right. Yeah. Well, we just keep doing what we do, and just, it sounds like you've made a ton of progress, and we do pretty much everything that you said as well to try to help. There were a couple of things I made note of that, we didn't do that I want to try to help too. But, we just have to keep at it. And I think it's just what we do kind of speaks for itself, when you reunite the pets, and that we're here to help them. That's why we do it. We just want to help.
Yep. Right. And I think that's what the main, thing that we try to, say, that we're here to help, and it's becoming a groundswell in the general public. I mean, they're getting it. They're really getting it, and they want to see, these dogs get home.
Yeah. Well, Sue, we've only got a couple minutes left. If you could give everybody, tell them about your webpage, your Facebook page, anything like that you'd like to mention.
Certainly. First of all, I'd like to mention about Microchip Hunters, or microchiphelp.com. This is a volunteer group. We have Illinois. We cover Illinois, but also there's microchip helpers. And when I don't have their cotton picking, excuse me, let me look it up.
I think it's just microchiphelp.com.
Yes,
I'm a hunter.
Sure, yeah.
Yep,
yeah,
I am.
Good. But we cover the United States.
Yes.
So if you're running into dead end chips and you can't get far, just at least send them to us. Yeah. And we will help. LostDogsIllinois.org is our website, and www.facebook Lost Dogs Illinois is our Facebook page, or Lost Dogs Illinois. You can just look it up. But we have over 150,000 fans.
Wow.
And we've been in existence. It's going to be 10 years in September.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, Sue, I really want to thank you for being with me again. It's always nice talking with you, and I love hearing all these accomplishments that you've done with your local shelter. That's awesome.
And I also have to give a shout out to the directors for at the shelters. They have been pretty receptive.
That's good.
So I've been very, very lucky about that.
That's awesome. All right. Well, take care, Sue, and I hope that we'll talk soon. But for now, everybody, remember that a lost pet can't tell anyone where it lives, so please be sure that they are microchipped and wearing their ID tags. And if they are chipped, be sure that chip is registered and up to date. Thanks for joining us today, and until next time, take care and keep your pets safe.